special focus on eNCA in the South African morning this Friday. The clock is ticking for the renewal of all of our driver's licenses. Thousands of people driving with expired driver's licenses, frustrated as well. It's not because we haven't been trying, we have, but it's a booking system that simply does not serve its purpose. Even though it was intended to make things easier, has it really worked? Well, Gauteng in particular uses the eNATIS online booking system, where time slots are reserved by those wanting to renew their license. I'll be speaking to Gauteng Transport MEC Jacob Mamabolo in just a moment. We know that the 31st of August deadline is coming up. Is that going to be extended? Is it not going to be extended? So if you drive a car in Gauteng, I recommend you give me an extra 10 minutes of your time, because we'll talk to the MEC in a few minutes. So the scramble to meet the deadline is continuing. Let's get the latest in with what it looks like. Our reporter Slindelo Masikane at the Randburg Licensing Department, and also you can see LETHIWE MDLULI at the Verulam Licensing Department north of Durban. Slee, let me come to you first, only because Gauteng seems to be particularly problematic, and Randburg Licensing Department is one of the biggest ones around. I drive past it every day, and I'm seeing queues come out the door. So what does it look like this morning?
A similar picture here on a Friday morning, where you would expect, because of the implemented eNATIS system, that once you've made a booking, you surely shouldn't have to come out and queue to get into the licensing center. But it's the same picture. Even with this eNATIS system, it's actually made the situation worse. You have people who've made bookings, but you've got many who have come out to queue here. Since around 6 a.m. this morning, the licensing department will only open at around 8 a.m. Many of those here are here to either book their driving license renewals, or they're here to pay for their driving license tests, or just various activities. And you can see there's actually someone here who's got a printer to make it easier for people to be able to make copies that are needed inside the licensing department. I myself have experienced many of the issues that Gauteng residents are facing when it comes to renewals. I was driving without a license for some time because I just simply could not get a booking. But I want to speak to some of those in the queue. Ma'am, how are you?
Fine, and you?
Good, good. Tell me, you were explaining to me earlier that your husband had an issue with booking for his driver's license renewal. Yes. Just take me through that process and how he eventually became successful.
Okay, last year, April, his license expired. So he tried to book online. He couldn't get any bookings. We tried throughout the year with the extension, but eventually this year we went through a company, because the companies take all the bookings, and we got one in Shushanguve. And yeah, he went now for his license.
And that's how he was able to renew his license?
Yes. Privately you can't. Yeah. You must go through a company.
All right. Ma'am, you were also telling me that you were having some issues. Tell me what you were trying to get done and how you eventually were successful.
So the last time I was here, we came about 8 a.m. and we left at 4 p.m. So it was very irritating for me, because we were standing here the whole day. The service wasn't very well. You know, everything was slow. There was like one person working here that day, so it's very irritating. Yeah.
So do you think that online booking system is making things worse or better?
I'm not sure. It's very hard to get a booking, especially when you're not doing it with the driving school. Yeah. So it's very hard to get a booking if you're alone, you know.
So those are the issues, Gareth. You know, it's difficult to make a booking. Once you get a booking, you still have to come outside and queue. You can see it's actually starting to rain right now. People don't have their umbrellas. Sanbonani? Ninjani? Nizoyenzani lan? Nizo-confirm i-date. Angitshele nge-process yokuthi nithole i-date. Nibone i-simple lento yokuthi nibhukhe online.
It takes long, ma'am. It takes long, ma'am. You spend data and everything.
Yeah. And it's still difficult.
It's still difficult, ma'am.
All right. Gareth, as you can hear, A lot of issues, a lot of problems. People saying that it takes time, it takes money. You get a booking, but then it still takes hours for you to actually complete the process.
Yeah, and it's going to be hours for those people standing in that queue. Slendelo, for the moment, thank you for speaking to a few people. Then let me take you down to KZN now. LETHIWE MDLULI, hello to you. So I would have asked the question, what do the queues look like where you are? But I can see them snaking a few, maybe 100 meters behind you as well. So it looks like the same story where you are.
Well, good morning, Gareth. Exactly the same story. We are at the Verulam testing center, and what I can tell you about the queue of people just outside the testing center, it's long, and people have been up since super early. I was told that the first person who was here first actually arrived at 3 a.m. in the morning just to try and bid the system and get assistance. A lot of people who are here are those who want to get their license renewed. They were telling me that they've been driving around with expired licenses. We know that the deadline is looming, so they need to get this sorted out. I'm going to step out of shots and ask my colleague to show you the amount of people that are in queue at the moment. We've been told that for now the licensing department is not open. They will open at around 7:15 or 7:15, if I'm not mistaken. And we are told that the licensing department closes at 4 p.m. And they also operate during the weekends because the government is trying to basically sort out this issue with the expired licenses. The people that are here have been waiting, and we are told they will be receiving forms from inside, and there will be confirmations as to whether they will be getting assistance today. Of course, KZN is not using the booking system. We are still working on the first come, first serve basis. So people have to wake up super early to try and bid the system. And what we've been told is that
LETHIWE, I'm going to ask you just to leave it there for me as well. We can just see that queue. We keep zooming in, and we're not even showing the full picture. But LETHIWE, you've given us a great sense of what people are doing this morning in Durban, at Verulam, and also Slendelo Masikane speaking to a few people as well. What I'm more worried about as well, not seeing much social distancing as well. So I'm worried about that as well. But to the both of you, thank you very much. We'll check in with you again as we look at our special focus this Friday morning. Our two reporters looking at what the situation is in Randburg, up here in Gauteng, and now it's starting to rain, and also down in Verulam in KZN. And that's the same picture every single day. You're going to be speaking to the Transport MEC in just a few minutes from now. But also